What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again this week. I'm also here with my co-pilot. Jocelyn's in the house.
What's up,
We
everyone?
could not, we both had to be here for this one because this is one of the most fascinating niche markets I've ever. That's one thing I love about Flipped Lifestyle is it's not your normal run of the mill. I do X, Y, Z, or Z for our guest today. But our guest today is Lynn Shore. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Good to see you both. How are you?
We love your accent already. We love accents around here.
Yeah, when we saw your email, we were like, oh, yay, she has a fun accent.
So
Let's get her on the show.
that's how you get on the podcast, people. If you just have an accent from somewhere else, just say I have an accent. Don't even tell us what you're doing or anything else. But now, where do you live at right now?
I live in Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
And you're
Yeah.
from England? Is that where you're from?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I moved over here about 20 years ago, just on a whim, really. Much
Oh,
to yeah.
we have a Europe trip like as a goal, right? But we've been waiting for our kids to get old enough to appreciate it because they're 13 and 15 right now, and I think they're getting close. And I think they're still in that middle school, teenage, I don't care what's happening around me mode. So I want to make sure that they have like the core memories implant deeply when we actually fly over there.
I have been to England before. I've been to London. I've also been to Germany. So I've been to Europe a couple of times.
Nice. You've been either side of me.
Do you just get on a train and just go to different countries all the time? Like, does that happen? Or do you just kind of stay put?
I really thought I would do that when I moved over, but no, life just kind of takes over. This year I've traveled a bit more. I've been over to see my family more in the UK. And, to begin with, you hope you're going to do it every 6 weeks and you'll be off all over. But no, I do see quite a few places, but no, not as many as I'd hope.
I imagine it's like living in America because, like, I think that when I talk to people from other countries, they're always like, "Oh man, you've been to Nevada and stuff, right?" And I'm like, "That is very far away from me." Like,
I mean, yes, we have, but it's not like a place that we visit frequently,
often, right? There's like half the states we've probably not been to. So that's just the way it is. All right. So your Instagram is very interesting. It says you are a herbologist, urban forager, writer, and druid. So please unpack this for me.
Please enlighten us.
Please enlighten. I am
mean?
so fascinated to learn more about what this means.
Yeah, varied is the word. Varied. Yeah. What do? I do a lot of things. I've got kind of two heads, I would say. I've got one head is as a school teacher. But currently at the moment, I'm building myself back into that because, as I think I said in the email, I've had to have a break from it. But the other side of me has always been into sort of nature, complementary therapies, running my own business as well. Always, since I was in my 20s, I always had something bubbling in the background, but I was also always a school teacher. So, the two things were always there. But and could never really let either of them go, which is I love teaching. I love the other stuff. I think a lot of people are like that. But so the urban foraging, I moved over to Amsterdam 20 years ago from the countryside in the UK. I was down in Somerset, really beautiful place by the coast, rose hips everywhere, just a lovely place. Moved here. Loved it, really loved the city vibe and everything going on. It was really exciting. I was in my early 30s, but I really missed the plants. So over time, I got into teaching friends about, what they could go and pick locally and realized actually I know quite a bit about this and sort of built my skills. And I was a biology teacher already. So that kind of grew from that. And then it turned into a little website because I wanted to spread the word more about what you could do with the urban plants, the ones you could eat or make sort of really simple, safe medicine from. And then that kind of grew into a course because people kept wanting to come.
And so this kind of started out in person, right? That's what I gathered from the emails.
Yeah, that's right. It really started out in person. And that's always been really important to me as well. I love doing online, but I really like the personal contact. And I think when you're dealing with something like edible foraged plants in a city, you really need to be, you can learn a lot online, but it's not the same as being with someone saying, or yeah, great, you've got it. Or what is it?
So wait a minute. Are you like walking around? Okay, hold on. So this is urban foraging. So this is literally like walking around the city in green spaces and stuff, like
Yeah.
looking for plants to like harvest.
That are edible or medicinal.
Evanol, yeah. Like, is this like mushrooms and stuff? Is it like just herbs? Like, what are we picking and eating here? Is this dumpster diving? I'm confused. I have no.
Yeah,
It's
no, no.
Amsterdam, which is pretty
It's
liberal.
Amsterdam.
So,
There's no
I
telling
mean,
what they're growing.
I'm just
You know what I'm
curious.
saying? I mean, everything's legal there. So
Yeah, everything, but not everything. Yeah, like at the moment, we're thinking trees with acorns falling, like the oak trees. So there's loads of street trees. We've got thousands of, in fact, we've got more trees than we have people in
wow.
Amsterdam, and loads of them are edible, but most people don't think about that. So there's like hazelnuts in the street, but big, we call them Turkish hazelnuts, but rather than the ones that split from the base, you know, you've got these tall, beautiful things that they drop their hazelnuts on top of people's cars and they just get swept up and then they get composted by the council. So they just get wasted. Or we've got like ginkgo trees that drop their sort of fruit nut things. They stink when they fall and they rot. But inside, you've got these real delicacies of little nuts. If you know what you're doing with it, you can prepare them safely, cook them, and then you can eat them. It's just fun. So the trees are like a real win because they're up high, away from kind of what you can imagine as, you know, pollution that you're going to get a lot of in the city. I know the roots still pick up the pollution, but you know, it's better. And then there's all sorts of other stuff like stinging nettles.
I have no idea what that is. What is a stinging nettle?
Yeah. I'm saying I get people come on walks from all around the world, actually. I'm saying stinging nettles, and the American people often don't know stinging nettles. What have we got? What else have we got? You know, all sorts of different things. Beautiful, beautiful plants. Roses, rose hips, roses growing up people's houses, grapes that have kind of escaped from people's house fronts. Everything. Yeah, ivy leaves, not poison ivy, the English ivy, but you can make a little tea from it to help if you've got a cold. You know, it's just a lovely thing.
Is this true in like every city? Like I think about the southern cities in America because, you know, like I think when Americans think of cities, they think of Chicago, New York, the really, really big
Los Angeles, Las Vegas,
like the concrete jungles, you know?
Yeah.
And like, but like, especially in like southern cities, like if you go to Nashville, Lexington, Atlanta, it's in a forest. I mean, it's not like
I mean, there's cities and there's a lot of concrete and a lot of buildings and things like that. But then there's also a lot of green and there's also a lot of, you know, farm space if you go out far enough.
So this is a skill that anybody living anywhere, and I would imagine even in smaller rural areas, it's even more relevant because we have so much growing everywhere, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think we've got a lot more biodiversity, especially of forageable plants in the cities, actually, because you've got things growing in pavement cracks. I mean, that sounds really unappetizing, and I don't go picking it to eat from there, but I sort of have always tried to help people to pick things and then replant them elsewhere. So, all sorts of little spaces like rucola, or what do you call that? Arugula?
Arugula.
Arugula.
Probably around here we call it rugula. That's how we'd probably say that out in the country down here. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's really fascinating what you're saying, though, because I understand I'm following what you're saying, because if something is strong enough to sustain that type of environment, then, you know, it has a lot of value.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right. Yeah, it's chosen its spot and it's thriving there. It's doing really well. And there's loads of different layers to it as well. Like if the place looks better because you decide to move that arugula plant with the pretty yellow flowers and the spicy leaves, you move it to like the base of a tree near where your house is, but it was kind of looking pretty ugly there. Eventually you get lots of them. You put other little things there as well. It looks good. And there's a lot of research into like the impact on crime in neighborhoods. I mean, that's really relevant in cities as well. So crime tends to, I know that's a bit of a sweeping statement, but crime tends to drop if places look better. I mean, we kind of know that instinctively, but also it gets people out as well. And that's a big deal in cities, that you've got so many people together, but you might not know who your neighbors are. You know, if you're living in big blocks, and yet if you're doing something on the street, dealing with the plants there, just tending it, looking a bit weird, maybe, you get people talking. And
That's all
it's,
right. You got to look weird if you're going to be successful at anything. That's
yeah.
just the way it is, you know?
So you had your online classes, you had your website, I assume just for some information. And like what kind of made this take the turn into, okay, I want this to also be an online
Like an
brand?
online business, online brand. And like what, and like, how did we, like, what was our role in that? What was Flip Lifestyle's role in that?
Yeah, so I tried. I had it to begin with. So I had the walkers, then the walkers asked for workshops, and then the workshop people wanted lots of workshops. So we wanted a course. So I made the course. And the course was in person, but I would give them handouts. So I had some written material, but it was all around my kitchen table. So these people would sign up for the course. They join in a little cohort of, I think it was 8 people max, because I thought 9 was a nice number. It fitted around the table. And then we would go off, we would walk, we would do whatever. We'd go crafting things with like beeswax oil and, the herbs in my kitchen. All was great, but I could manage only 2 groups of those running at any time.
Sure.
And yeah, it's not the easiest, but I was building up all this material that I'd produced. So I kept producing material and thought, right, let's put it together. Let's make this a proper course that anybody could do anywhere. So I knew how to make a website because I'd done it over the years for like, I don't know, an English teaching website, this kind of thing. Really basic, I could handle. Set up one to put the course on, but God, it was a muddle. It was really a muddle. It was a minefield for me. So it went up there, but it was just not beautiful at all. And then it just sort of sat there, and a few people signed up because they knew about the in-person one, but I wasn't doing that anymore. I was doing this kind of blended thing where they had to do the online course and then they could come and see me as well, and we would do workshops. So people were signing up, but it wasn't really very solid, and I wasn't very happy with the quality of the product at all. So I then was just like looking around, and I would go on the bus to school at that time. So I was taking the bus into school, which is like a half an hour ride, and I was just cruising around on YouTube, and then I found you. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. School teachers, and then you flip things, and this is what I want to do. So I signed up. So I had the material. I kind of knew what I was doing with the website. I just did it. And so I managed to put it on. I made about 100 units in the end because I thought, right, let's get people in here. And I love this idea that they come in and I'll give them so much material that they just don't want to go. They want to stay and they want to learn, and they keep paying me as long as they stay. Because I'm very into giving material. I want people to learn, but I need to make a living at this as well. And I want to do more of this, less of the teaching. So I tried that. And it was good, but people kind of they were kind of thinking, well, it's a course, but when do we come out of the course? And it just didn't feel right. And I wanted to see them as well. So in the end, I made it this hybrid package where it was better for them to pay and know that it could take them a year to do it. A year is the minimum, a year and a half normally. They could take as long as they want, but they only pay me 12 times.
Gotcha.
And then they're in. Now, to protect my content,
and that's just a modified. This is it's actually more of a marketing tactic to do it like that. We have people that say they call it like a payment plan, right? But the goal is always just to create revenue that you can see coming in the future, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a membership that was like pay forever or 12 payments of $100 or whatever it is. It's still the same amount of money coming in. And every membership has a lifetime value, like where, maybe your members will stay 7 months. That's just the average. And, like even in a strategy, once you know that number, like if you're like, well, I'll just charge 10 payments and then it'll get me 3 more payments and then I'll make more money. It's the same kind of situation. It's just different wording. So what you did was instinctive and very good. And a lot of people do that instead of the membership model, basically.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's reassuring. Yeah, because I have felt a lot like I was just sort of muddling through with it, but I would listen to what people were saying, and people would be, some come on the course and they never really interact with me. Some start, they pay for some month, and then they disappear. then I'm very clear about what I'm offering. So to begin with, that was like, oh no, what am I doing wrong? Is it not a very good product? But it's not that. Anybody who stops, they're telling me, I'm really sorry, I didn't have as much time available as I wanted, this kind of thing. So that's reassuring, and that makes me want to put more time into it and keep it good and improve it, add new units. But yeah, that's how it's going now. So they get the option to see me once a month, or twice a month, actually.
In person or live?
In person. So they could see me almost every Saturday morning for a free gardening session that's included in the package, where they come and herb garden. They could come to a workshop in Amsterdam at my little garden house, and we craft and we do things together. They could do a Zoom every other Friday night, and they could come on a walk, like a herb walk that I offer in one of the local parks. So they could do all those things if they really wanted, but they can do the course really, really well if they just put the time in and they do it online.
Yeah. How many people have you had buy the course? Like, how many people have actually bought it? How many people are in? Because it sounds like this has a very local flavor to it. Like there's so much it's like Amsterdam and a couple concentric circles out where you can like kind of pull people from. Although I could definitely see people like getting way into this and traveling to Amsterdam.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, what a fun trip. I would sign up for that. I know nothing about gardens. I know nothing about herbs, but like I would totally do this.
She's kind of a nature hippie anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it sounds fun.
This is right up her alley. Yeah.
Good.
But has it all been local right now? They're finding you online, but then they're like, whoa, this is in my backyard, and they're doing it?
A lot of people get really excited about that, and then they join. I get loads of international people who are in Amsterdam or in the other cities close by, because the Netherlands up to the States is really small, so it's only a couple of hours to get from one end to the other. So I will get people right from the south, occasionally from the north, who will come and they'll attend the workshops. People who are over temporarily with a job, they'll do it. And then I've got someone at the moment who's just moved to Aruba, and she's continuing the course there. So I'd love it to be more international, but I don't fear it. I just really would like it to be more international, because I feel it's really applicable anywhere that you've got a city or a town environment, particularly. There's loads of foraging teachers and like home crafty kind of teachers in the countryside, but very, very few who have got like a 0-size kitchen in a city. Right. And you know what I mean? So I think it's really nice and it would fit a lot of places. But my worry is how to do that really without losing, like I was saying at the beginning, you're there with plants. Is it a ginkgo nut? Is it a hazelnut, or is it not? Is it poisonous or not?
Is it a mushroom that will kill you, or a mushroom that will make you really, really happy? Like, which mushroom is this right now, right?
Yeah, precisely. So I feel I've got a real responsibility with that as well, to have the option. Although I know that most people who sign up don't come to the workshops and they manage really well. So yeah.
That's how all products are too. Like, we've sold everything, this is no lie, from $29 a month to $29,000 up front. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing we learned from all those products is that bell curve stays the same. Mm-hmm. Of people who are all in, they're over here on this side of the bell curve. People in the middle, they're like in it and they don't really leave, but they don't always pay attention, and they come one month and they don't come the next. To people who literally pay for something and just don't use it. Like, it's insane. The price point almost doesn't even
We've had people pay tens of thousands of dollars and not even show up.
Yeah. And they're just like, I got busy. What? I'm like, really? Like, because we just had like 17 coaches waiting for you and like all these things happening, and you just didn't show? Like, what is going on over here? That makes no sense,
Incredible. Yeah, well, that's very reassuring to hear, actually.
Yes, I'm telling you, from
it happens
all the way
from
the mountain to the bottom of the mountain.
Totally,
it happens in the exact same way. So so this is awesome. So you've got this.
I didn't hear how many people were paying too.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. I think at any time at the moment, and bearing in mind I've had it the past year, I've been really like off my game really, so I haven't been promoting it at all. I haven't been offering as many walks to pick up new business locally. I haven't been pushing it online at all. So I've got about 20 people at any time actively doing it and paying.
Cool. And
yeah, some others who have paid already, but they're finishing off, going at their own sweet time. I allow people to take a break with the payment and the study and come back when they're ready. And that happens quite frequently. Very happy with that. And I have had I think it's about 150 people now who've gone through.
Nice.
So,
That's really, really good. That shows if you can find 150, there's probably 150,000 around the world that would probably love to do something like this, right? And then how much do you charge?
yeah, started again. That was really like just, finger in the air, really, to begin with. I didn't know what to do
That's
with it.
exactly how we teach you to do it too.
Oh.
Like, because you don't know
We
until you
still
go.
do that too.
We still do
It's
that. We're like,
fine.
what do you want to charge for this? We're like, I don't know, throw $300.
We mostly ask ChatGPT these
Yeah,
days.
we're like, ChatGPT, how much should we charge from this? Then we just try a price and if someone buys it, we're like, okay, that's close. We got
Yeah,
it.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I need to sort that out because one of my aims is really to really reach people who need to learn it as well. There's a lot of people who need to learn it. In fact, I'd love to offer things to the homeless, and I've tried to break into the homeless market, shall we call it, by going into homeless shelters and so on and trying to get them to grow herbs and all sorts of stuff. But that's kind of as a free charity kind of angle. So I've tried to keep it low. And the material is there, and then it's my time for doing the marking of the work and so on. So they pay either €28, which is roughly the same in dollars, I think, per month, 12 times, or they pay 38. Why I chose the two numbers, I really don't know. But if they're on what they think
We'll just
is
call it. We'll
regular.
just chalk that one up to the metric system and figure it out.
That's
okay?
just entrepreneurship.
That
Okay.
that sounds like metric pricing. I don't know if it's
It's fine.
Yeah.
You chose the perfect price. Okay.
It's a great price. Hey, people bought it. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because if you get 100 of those, you got €3,000 a month. I mean, that's all you know what I'm saying? You can build it up that
Yeah,
way.
indeed. I'm putting the price up at the end of the year because I haven't put it up for several years, and we had COVID. And during COVID, I offered the lower tier price to really help people out, and it did help people. I had a lot of people join it there, but now I feel I need more income from it, and I want to take it to the next level where it's more my income rather than the side hustle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the pricing's weird because like we don't really find a difference until it's on 50s, like 50, anything from 0 to 50 is basically the same. So like, why not just charge 49, and like same thing from like 50 to 100. Like, is there really a difference in 57 and 97, like to people? Not now, not most of the time when they're buying something on the internet. Right. So your pricing, when you do that though, whatever contact list, Instagram following, anything you've got, give them one more chance to get in and threaten the price increase. Like just say, I'm raising prices on January 1st, 2025. But anyone who has always wanted to do this and is not,
you'll be locked in.
We will lock you in at the normal payment. That'll get some people off of your following that are just kind of like fence sitters. Like a price increase is like one of the best things to move fence sitters in the world because they're like, oh crap, I've been meaning to do this forever. She's going to raise this. I've got to totally make this happen right now. And then they'll jump in. Then you'll get a big influx of people so you can use that to go. But the real problem I see for this is just the scale. Like, because you have to, you'll probably need two tiers is what it sounds like. You'll need the one where they get all the in-person and then the one where they don't. And is that why you have 28 and 38 right now? Is that like
No, it was really people who were really struggling financially. They're on the lower tier. So I get a lot of students on that one, or people who've lost their jobs, get loads of people who are in between jobs and are like in a career crisis kind of moment. Lots of them join. And then the rest are the 38. So I've advertised that I'm going to put it at one rate. I've chosen 60 because over here, that's the price of kind of having a massage for yourself, something like that once a month. I thought, well, people can treat themselves to that once a month. This is far more than that, Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. But then the other price, I thought, no, I can't do it at the moment. I need to find another way. So what you're saying is like the in-person package is one rate, and the not in-person, that would work beautifully, actually.
So, because you could do like 60 and 100, you know what I'm saying? If you were just picking two prices, like
Yeah,
I've seen many 59 and 97s, you know what I'm saying, when they're
yeah,
together.
yeah,
And that way, because then you have two things happening.
yeah,
You get your desires met because your desire is to do this in
And
person
there's
stuff.
nothing wrong with that. I think there's a lot of
yeah,
people out there that think, oh, if I start an online business, it has to be passive. I can't spend time with people in person. Like, that's just garbage, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you can do what you want to do. If that's important to you, then do it.
Yeah. So that's like the Amsterdam package, right? Where
mm,
it's like anybody within driving distance who wants to come and experience this. And like people, even people from out of town who do the other package, like
mm,
you could quote unquote sell like for $100 if you're at the other tier.
mm.
If you're ever in Amsterdam, you can come do the weekend thing or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
But like
nice.
if you have two tiers, you have one that's in person, and then you
Mm,
have one online, which is basically that course and maybe like a live call. But you could totally like simulate that with when you do your herb walks or whatever.
yeah,
Like you could record those and take people on those and make that content for your membership so they get to
yeah,
see what it's like. Like it doesn't just have to be like teacher book learning type stuff.
no,
Like there could be a herb walk area inside of your course and you just document these things you're doing in person with other people. And
yeah,
now we have a really virtual feeling thing of you walking around those cities. And like you said, you wanted to get back into traveling a little bit. Like I could even see
yeah,
like like you go to England and you're walking around London and you do a London weekend and you do
yeah.
a special London walk.
Oh, yeah.
And now you can market
Yes.
that as a part of the course to the
Mm,
London market
Yes.
to show
that's
them how to
nice.
do that because you did the London walk.
And, other places in your area that are within reasonable distance from you, like, that's a
Mm,
great way to expand and still do what you want to do and
yeah,
get yourself out there to a different
Like you
audience.
could jump on a train to Germany or wherever that you go over
yeah,
there and just take a day and just do a nice walk through, find things, show
yeah,
things that you don't even have to have a plan because you're a druid walking around the city. So like so you can go find all this stuff, but then your content becomes like different cities and that's how you can start showing that
yeah,
this is in other places too. It's not just where you are. It's literally urban
yeah.
foraging. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great ideas because that's really what my life is like. Wherever I go, I just can't stop looking at the plants. It's my
And
For
wherever
sure.
you go,
Yeah.
your phone's in your pocket and you can
Yeah.
pull it out and you can film what
yeah,
you're seeing.
And usually the best type of work to do is something that we're already embodying, something that you do. It's something that you already live. It's something you already are. Like, just grasp onto that
And
and
document it
make some
like
money off of
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
And in other, I don't know, another thing that kind of popped into my head is I wonder if this isn't too like a certification type of business.
Yes. Like I was thinking that too. Like I wonder if so
So
say
maybe not like tomorrow.
right. So say there's this membership thing. Like you have this apprenticeship on your website.
yeah, that's right. That's what I call the course, the
Okay,
apprenticeship.
okay. So that's what you I'm just yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting our terminology. We speak a
Mm.
completely different English. We don't even speak real English. We speak Appalachian English. So it's not even real. So the
Or redneck English.
yeah.
You
Uh,
speak beautiful English.
yes, right.
Great. Love it.
They're actually I actually tell this joke on stage. Like there's this I don't know if it's a legend. I don't know if I've ever heard it before. I don't know where I got this. I know it's a thing for real.
Urban myth from the internet.
It might be an
Who
urban myth from
knows?
the internet, but I actually taught history. That's what I taught for 10 years. I taught American history. And like there's this anthropological side note of they think that the people who settled like in Jamestown, like a lot of those people when they started coming through Jamestown, they ended up in Virginia and Kentucky. Like right, they came all those people, those first
And
settlers,
we live in
and
Kentucky.
we live in southeast Kentucky, like right in the heart of the mountains. And they think that the people that came down here, the reason we talk even differently than Southern people, and my accent's a lot worse than it is. I just try to mask it on the podcast a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I can get there and hillbilly real quick. But like when they came down into the mountains, they got cut off, and all this settlement happened around us. Like people went to the Midwest, they went to the South, but everybody kind of avoided the mountains because they were so hard to navigate. So the people that come down there, like our dialect is very, very similar to like Elizabethan English still, because like some of the words we use you can trace right back to when people came over because they didn't evolve as much. So while we
Yes.
sound funny now, I always tell people I'm the one that talks right and you talk wrong. I'm speaking English over here, people. So that's the joke I tell.
I love it.
But the people, as you build this like content base out, and you could certify people, like you could have a, hey, do you want to be a certified urban herbologist in
Mm.
London, England? And
Yeah.
then people in London could pay you a
Mm.
bigger amount. I'm talking
Mm.
like,
Yeah.
something
like
thousands.
thousands.
Yeah.
And then they are able to then do this type of work in their local area.
So you just kind of
Mm.
give them the training. Maybe it's a deeper program. Maybe you
Yeah.
do programs for certain cities.
And then you would give them the tools and the systems that you have set up to do the in-person stuff. That you could give them the worksheets and the whatever it is that you
Mm.
have. You could hand them the system and say, okay, by paying me X dollars and
Mm.
Y dollars a year to keep up your certification or whatever, whatever it is you decide to do.
Yeah.
That way they don't have to make all the materials
Yeah.
and use your
Yeah.
materials, but they charge and give you a kickback. Like imagine if there was a London urban herbologist who had
Mm.
100 Londoners under their program,
Yeah.
and you were getting like a kickback from
Yeah.
all of those members, or they pay you like, $5,000 up front to become
Mm.
certified. Jocelyn just did a certification for somatic healing. Tell
Okay.
her about that, really.
Yeah, so I mean, I recently did a somatic certification, and so I paid this person an amount to be a part of the program, and then I went through that program, and then I ended up doing a level 2 certification where I had to be like a mentor to other people, and so I now have the level 2 certification in somatic practice, and so that's just a thought. It's not something you have to do tomorrow. I mean, obviously with this type of thing, you would want to have some legal agreements in place in case somebody eats something they're not supposed to and die.
Oh, yeah.
There's that whole thing.
Lynn Shore is not responsible for you poisoning your clients. That's in
Exactly.
the fine print
Yeah.
somewhere, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would obviously be really careful about that and,
Yeah.
make sure that you had some good legal documents drawn up. But, I think that's a good logical next step for you, sometime down the road.
So, but
Love
it
it.
all boils down to let's go back a step. So, if you have two tiers, one's the
Yeah.
in-person tier, one's the you don't live here tier, right?
Yeah.
Totally cool. You've got all the content ready. You can do these live walks to give people extra content. You can have Q&As on Zoom once a month
Yeah.
if people want to show you the plant they picked and hopefully
Yeah.
give some advice about what it was.
Mm.
You still got to get people to find out about you. And you have a great tone, a great personality, you're very easy on camera. How are you promoting this? What's the marketing strategy to get the word out so that people can discover this and find it? Because I would say that anybody in a city, if they saw something like this and they had a more of a nature vibe to them, they would probably be really super interested in going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Are you marketing it? What are you doing with it right now?
No, at the moment, I'm really not. I've been ticking along, and I was either so busy with the schoolwork that I didn't have time to really push it. I have my 6 weekly intakes at the moment, where I'll take a group on every 6 weeks, and that really eases the admin. So I might put a little flutter on social media saying, hey, the next date's coming up, anyone want to join? But not much, very low profile at the moment. So, but I'm really itching to just.
Well, you have a product that converts. You have an offer that converts. That's the hardest thing to do in online business. You've had over 150 people pay you for this product. That's it. Now the game, just when you find that, the game becomes, how many people can I tell about this?
Yeah, my intuition says that this needs to be maybe an in-person type of thing that you show people. So I'm curious, are there festivals? Are there outdoor events? Do people host events of natural living or, crafts or whatever it is that you could kind of get in the door of?
Or even speak at
Yeah.
a conference or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, we have, yeah. I will think about different things. In the city itself, it's a bit low on that, really. And that's where my people are. And that's where I want to find them. Most of them don't really go outside of Amsterdam. They're here and they're happy and they stay and then they maybe move. But yeah, no, I can really think about that, where they might be.
If you start looking for opportunities, I think you'll find them,
One of those things, if you can tell your brain, find places where I could tell people about this in Amsterdam. That would be for the higher tier. You'll start seeing them everywhere.
I was listening to, I don't know if it was an Instagram reel or what it was, but it was talking about how whenever we're thinking about something, like if we buy a new car, we'll start seeing that car everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's because we're looking for it. So like when you tell your brain, oh, I want to find these opportunities to get this work in front of other people, then you'll start finding it.
We got a Lincoln Navigator one time, and it was like brand new, this really nice car, and we like saved up and we're like, oh, we're gonna buy this Lincoln Navigator. And then we bought it and we're like, nobody's gonna have this car. It's gonna look so cool. I saw like 4 in the way home.
I see them like every single day.
Yeah, right, every day now. And I'm like, did everybody always have these things? Or did
it's the exact same one that we have, the same color.
I think we started a trend. That's what I like to feel about myself, but I'm sure that's not true. I'll tell you another thing that I watched this guy named Sean Gatz. I don't know how he ended up in my news feed, but he basically bought a piece of land in the desert and he just started tearing down cacti and started building stuff out there. And it's insanely awesome to watch, and I have no idea why. I have no idea. I don't want to be in a desert.
Like
I will not build things.
We are not farmers.
I don't know why this is so fascinating, but like honestly, like if you could show people this, like the kind of a smaller version of what I was saying earlier in your course area, like it just record yourself finding a plant and put it on TikTok or put it on
Instagram. I think this sounds very TikTok,
like,
Instagram,
TikTok reelsy of just really quick content.
Did you know that you can make a tea out of this plant?
Yeah,
you know, like that kind of thing.
Like I mean,
I watch stuff like that all the time.
Urban herbology is a great gimmick, right? Like that tells you exactly what's going on. And like if you were just like out on a walk with your dog or something and you saw a plant that could be turned into a medicine to make your sore throat feel better. I don't know if there's anything like that. But like if you could just start documenting this, I'm talking selfie cam.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Like you have a TikTok account maybe because TikTok is super easy to create content for. And like TikTok can get lots of really quick 1-minute views, but also Instagram's good for this too. But like imagine you're just walking down the street, you're on a private herb walk or whatever you're doing, and you see something that's really cool. And you're like, did you know this is growing in all these cities? Did you know this was here? And you actually show that. Yeah. And then maybe even like 30 seconds, you find it, but then when you get home, you show yourself making the tea. And you just edit those together real quick and TikTok it, right? And put
5 plants in the city you thought were weeds.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like just things like that. I watch stuff like that all the time.
5 mushrooms that won't kill you that I found today or something like that, right? Like that's quick, easy, in progress content that you don't have to stop for. You don't have to hire an editor for. It's all on the app, all on the phone. And now you can start creating this big content out there. Like it's almost like you have to treat it like a movement, like urban.
And people will follow it because they will like you. You're just a fun person. You have a great camera personality. Like, just do it.
Yeah. So I wonder if like you could even like pick one, Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, I've got Instagram actually.
1-minute videos a day and just post them.
And I don't know if you're into AI right now, but that's something that AI can tell you also. Like you can say, give me 20 prompts for TikTok that have to do with urban plants or whatever. And it'll give you ideas of things to do.
That you can actually do. And I know we're like TikTok. When I say TikTok, they're like, isn't that what the kids use and do all their dances on and stuff?
I don't even have TikTok, but I need to get it.
But it's not. It's a marketing powerhouse engine, and it's just so easy. The app literally has a camera. The app has an editor. You just record 2 or 3 clips. You go in, kind of mess them around with your thumb, and you post it. Yeah. And now you can start creating movement, but you've got to do it consistently. Like you've got to say, how many herb walks do you go on a week? Do you go on a walk every day? Or what
every day, yeah.
Every day. Do you find something almost every day that you're looking for?
Every day, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to live off it for 1 month as well. I've signed up for a project in April to just live off wild food for a research project.
Oh my
gosh, perfect.
You have to document every single second of this. That is perfect social media. Like I lived on plants I found.
What I found today, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally watch that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think content's your next big thing you've got to start creating is just document what you're already doing. Keep it as simple as possible, like 1-2 minute videos, and just post something every day and just start getting following.
What do you think, can I ask you about like face or not? Because I am so self-conscious about
Oh, you should not be.
Here's what you do, honestly, because I'm like the most self-conscious person ever on video. I like to do things live and just get it out there.
And then never
Okay.
never watch it again.
Yeah, don't rewatch it, because if you rewatch it, you'll redo it
Yeah.
700 times.
Yeah.
Just go live, just do it and get it done.
Or if you do make a little clipped video, don't watch it again. Just like type in your words, put it out there. But
Yeah.
like you have
The more you do it, the easier it is, honestly.
And also, like people, I think when they're on camera, they rely too much about like the insecurities we have about the way we look or the way we sound or whatever we do. But really, it's like the passion that you have, people will fall in love with it. Like it's like me, and I'm wanting to go down my town right now and start looking for plants growing in cracks. Like, because you can feel how passionate you are about this. You do have a British accent, which is an automatic +1 in the trust meter. Like people just love like stuff like that. And then like you just put it out there and do it. And there's no easy answer. I can't make you not be insecure. I can tell you just do it afraid and be insecure anyway.
Doing it, like the more often you do it, the less painful and unusual it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We still can't stand the way we look
no.
on camera or
it drives me crazy. A lot of times we'll record stuff and I'll just be like, just put it on there, because I can't look at it. I can't watch it. Just do it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, because you both sound
content and
great.
the passion, and you've got 2 cameras on your phone. Remember, you can be on the camera for 5 seconds at the beginning and be like, "Hey, it's Lynn. I'm going on a walk today. I'm looking for acorns to make some stew or whatever you're doing."
And then flip it around.
Then flip it around and just make it like first person the rest of the time, and you don't have to be on camera the whole time that way.
Wonderful. I love it. Thank you.
So let's set a goal, okay?
So this is a little overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's
a lot of information.
I think this is one of the coolest niches though that I've ever heard. And like urban herbology is like just such a cool, brandy, feely thing. So maybe you could just set a goal in like the next, like there's about 90 days left or something in the year when we're recording this, right?
Hold on, we'll ask.
There's 106 days left. Set a goal in that 106 days.
Yeah.
To make 100 TikToks.
Oh yeah.
Just try TikToks. That gives you 6 days where you might miss one here and there or whatever. But like if you go on a walk, you record a TikTok, right? Like,
and don't worry about knowing how to do it perfectly. You'll learn as you go.
Yeah, just start making videos every day and just document what you're already doing.
And just start noticing like which ones are getting traction, which ones do people like.
Start one, call it Urban Herbology. Like, see if you can get that username. That would be an amazing like username, and just start talking about this. And in every one of them call to action, you can say like, tell me what you found in your city today. Have you found my course? What have you looked for? You know, start give them calls to actions to kind of like communicate with you, and just see where you are in 100 days with all of that, and see if you can generate that momentum. And then those people are the ones then you got to get on your email list, give them something free, and then sell the course to, and see if you can grow that way.
Love it. Thank you.
And here's a little less pressure. There's 15 weeks in one day. So maybe we could even do like 15.
There you go. Yeah. If you want to set a smaller goal, like I'm going to do one video a week.
Because 100 sounds like a lot.
I'm the gas and she's the brake. If I'm usually like, let's take over the world by Sunday.
Options, Lynn. I like to have options. Okay. So there's a couple of options.
So there's some options for you. So if you can make one video a week, that would be totally like a goal. And then if you got a B goal, it's like, but I'm going to try to do it daily, Monday through Friday or something.
I'm mad when I've got a target. I'm mad to get it. So I think I'm going to have to go for 100 actually.
Hey, go for it. If that's what you want.
I saw you line up. But for the listeners of the podcast,
I'd like if that's
a goal that's reasonable for you, right?
Then there's a less overwhelming goal for you.
Cool. Well, Lynn, it was absolutely great talking to you. This is a fascinating niche. You've got an offer that converts. It's really just go be you and spread your passion, and people will latch onto this. And then maybe we can check back in with you in the new year and see how you did all your TikToks. We can hold you accountable that way. Yeah. We expect a full report in January of how this went, and then we can see what we got to do next. Does that sound like a deal?
That sounds wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, that wraps up our chat with Lynn Shore from Amsterdam, the urban herbologist herself. You can check out her website at urban-herbology.org. What a cool concept, guys. She is out there. She's sold 150 of these courses. Now think about 150 people paying you $30 a month, right? That's a good chunk of change. And her idea is basically that she's foraging cities for plants growing in the cracks of sidewalks and falling off of trees. Your idea is not that far-fetched. It's not that crazy. Like that's one of the coolest ideas we've seen, but we've seen so many of these ideas that you would never think would work, but you don't need the whole world to buy into it. You need people who want to do the thing you can teach them how to do. And that is exactly what Lynn is doing. She's out there doing something she's passionate about, doing something she loves, doing something she would be doing anyway, but she's figured out a way to make her income with it. She's figured out a way to make money online, to make money in person, to take control of her income so she can build freedom and so she can have all the things that she wants for her life, but she still gets to do the things that she loves. So what a cool idea. Absolutely fantastic. If you need help finding your idea for an online business to make money online and build a life of freedom, head over to flippedlifestyle.com, FLIPPED lifestyle.com. We'd love to have you in the Flipped Lifestyle community. You'll get access to the Flipped Lifestyle blueprint, just like Lynn did to build out her course. You'll have all the comradeship. That's what she said off air. Have all the Flipped Lifestyle community hanging out with people, letting them chip in and help you with your ideas, helping you get sorted out. And who knows, you might find yourself right here on the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, talking to me and Jocelyn about your online business. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
I really love all your ideas. Thank you so much. And I don't know if I got it across enough at the bit, but I'm so grateful for what you've put on, because it just made such a difference. It was amazing to do it.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
talking about the blueprint itself, like just the how to do everything?
Yeah, the
basically?
blueprint, and also, the comradeship as well, and people like chipping in with help. And it was just amazing, really fantastically helpful. Yeah.